Master time, master you. I want you to picture something with me for a moment. You wake up tomorrow morning, and there's a message waiting for you. You've just been given $1,410. But there's a catch. Anything you don't spend today will vanish at midnight. Be honest. What would you do? Would you let half of it slip away while scrolling your phone? Or would you carefully invest every dollar in something that could change your future? Here's the truth. You already live with this reality. Every morning, you're given beer 440 minutes. By midnight, they're gone. No refunds, no rollovers. And yet most people live as if time is cheap. Some say, it's okay. It's just a few minutes. But let me challenge that a few wasted minutes every day becomes hours, then years, then regret. Others argue, life is short, so why not enjoy it without worrying about every minute? Fair point. But here's the deeper question. Is distraction truly enjoyment, or is it a slow theft of your potential, disguised as comfort? This is where the disagreement lies. Some people see discipline as limitation. I see it differently. Discipline is freedom, because every small choice, every single minute, either builds your future or quietly erodes it. So tonight, let's talk about the power of 1 minute, not an hour, not a year, just 1 minute. Because when you learn how to honor a single minute, you unlock the secret to transforming your days, your years, and ultimately, your life. The value of 1 minute. Have you ever noticed how a single minute can feel completely different depending on where you are? 1 minute in a traffic jam feels like forever. 1 minute waiting for test results feels unbearable. But 1 minute hugging someone you love, suddenly it feels like it slips through your fingers too fast. That's the strange paradox of time. 60 seconds never changes, but its value depends entirely on what we do with it. Let me share a story. Years ago, I had a friend who missed a job interview because he decided to hit snooze one more time. Just 1 more minute in bed. He arrived 15 minutes late. The position was already filled, and his chance was gone. One choice. 1 minute. It cost him an opportunity he had been preparing for months. Contrast that with another story, a woman I worked with who, in a single minute of courage, picked up the phone and called someone she admired. That call turned into a mentorship, which turned into a career change, which eventually led her to build the business she had always dreamed of. See the difference? Same 60 seconds. 2 completely different destinies. Here's the truth. Most people don't like to hear life doesn't usually crumble because of one big catastrophe. It erodes because of the little moments we let slip away unnoticed. That extra minute we spend scrolling, the minute we waste on complaining, the minute we delay taking action, all of it stacks up. And before we know it, those just minutes have stolen years. But here's the empowering part. The reverse is also true. 1 minute of focus can spark momentum for the entire day. 1 minute of kindness can heal a broken relationship. 1 minute of reflection before you react in anger can save you months of regret. The smallest unit of time, repeated with intention, becomes the foundation of something extraordinary. So let me ask you this, because I want to hear from you. Not just speak at you. What's the most powerful minute you've experienced lately? Was it a decision you made, a moment of bravery, or maybe even a pause where you finally gave yourself permission to breathe? Share it. Reflect on it. Because recognizing the power of 1 minute is the first step toward changing the way you live, all the rest of them. The hidden cost of wasted time. Here's something people rarely talk about. Time is the only resource that slips away silently. If you waste money, you see the dent in your bank account. If you eat poorly, your body tells you. But when you waste time, 10 minutes here, an hour there, it doesn't send you a bill immediately. The charge comes later. When you realize your health is slipping, your dreams are still untouched. or your relationships have grown distant. I once counseled a man who worked long hours but filled his breaks with endless scrolling on his phone. He told himself it was harmless, just 5 minutes to relax. But those 5 minutes stretched into 30, sometimes more, over years. Those wasted minutes became wasted opportunities, the books he never read, the conversations he never had, the skills he never learned. By the time he looked back, the cost wasn't 5 minutes. It was years of untapped potential. On the flip side, I knew a young woman who treated her time like treasure. She guarded even the small pockets of her day. When she waited in line, she listened to audiobooks. When she had 10 minutes free, she stretched, reflected, or made a quick gratitude list. She didn't live like a robot. She still had fun, but she understood something crucial: minutes compound. And just like money invested wisely, they pay dividends in the future. Think about it. 10 wasted minutes a day. Doesn't sound like much, but over a year, that's more than 60 hours gone. 60 hours could mean a new language, a stronger body, or a business plan, drafted and ready. Instead, for most people, it disappears into the black hole of distraction. That's the hidden tax of wasted time, the regret of what could have been. The truth is, every minute whispers, "What are you doing with me?" You either invest it in something that grows you, or you spend it on something that slowly drains you. There is no neutral. Every choice tips the scale. And this is where the tough love comes in. Stop telling yourself you don't have time. You do. You're just spending it on something else. If it really matters, it will find a place in your minutes. If it doesn't, it won't. That realization stings at first, but it's liberating because it means you're the one in control. Discipline, the bridge between goals and results. Let's be honest. You probably already know what you should be doing. Eat better, exercise more, save money, focus on your career. None of this is a mystery. The problem isn't knowledge, it's follow through. And that's where discipline walks in. I often describe discipline as the invisible bridge. On one side, you've got your goals, your vision, your New Year's resolutions. On the other side, you've got the results. You dream of health, wealth, freedom, confidence. Discipline is the bridge that carries you across. Without it, those goals stay stuck on paper, collecting dust in journals and wish lists. Now, here's the kicker. Discipline isn't glamorous. It's not fireworks or big breakthroughs. It's that quiet, stubborn choice you make every single day. Do you lace up your shoes and head to the gym? Or do you sink into the couch? Do you pour a glass of water? Or do you grab the soda? Do you spend 20 minutes reading or 20 minutes scrolling? Each choice by itself feels tiny, almost meaningless. But string them together, and they form the path of your life. I once worked with a client who kept telling me, "I just don't have discipline." She thought it was some rare talent you're either born with or not. But discipline is more like a muscle. You build it by using it. She started small. First, waking up 15 minutes earlier. Then, replacing one unhealthy snack with fruit. Later, dedicating 10 minutes a night to reflection. At first, it felt awkward, even forced. But after a while, it became her new rhythm. Months later, she looked back and barely recognized her old self. And here's what's fascinating. The more disciplined you become, the freer you feel. People think discipline means restriction, but it's actually the opposite. When you're disciplined with your time, you have more freedom to do what matters. When you're disciplined with your money, you have more freedom to choose your future. When you're disciplined with your habits, you have more energy and more options. So the next time you feel resistance when you're torn between the easy way and the right way, remember this. Every act of discipline is a brick on that bridge. And the stronger the bridge, the closer you get to the life you say you want. How successful people use the same 24 hours. Here's a reality check. Every single person you admire, every role model, every overnight success has the same 24 hours you do. No more, no less. The difference isn't in the hours. They don't get a bonus 25th hour. The difference is in how they spend them. Think about it. Elon Musk, Oprah Winfrey, Serena Williams, they all wake up to the same ticking clock as you and me. What separates them isn't a secret vault of extra time. It's intention. They squeeze meaning out of moments the rest of us let slip. I once knew a young professional who turned his daily commute an hour each way into a personal university. While others sat in traffic cursing the cars around them, he filled his ears with audiobooks and courses. That's 500 hours of learning in a single year, simply by converting wasted time into invested time. Today, he's leading projects that once felt out of reach. And here's the thing, it's not about being busy every second. It's about choosing wisely. Successful people know when to push and when to pause. They don't start their day scrolling through endless feeds. They begin with clarity. What are my big rocks today? Which tasks truly move the needle? They put the rocks in first, then the pebbles, then the sand. And because of that, everything fits. Contrast that with someone who pours in the sand first hours on social media, gossip, or binge watching. By the time they get to the big rocks, health, relationships, dreams, there's no room left. And then they say, I just don't have time. But it's not true. They had the time. They simply filled the jar in the wrong order. Here's a personal truth. I've learned through years of coaching, success isn't built on massive amounts of time. It's built on focused minutes. The athlete who visualizes for 10 minutes a day. The parent who sets aside 15 minutes to really listen to their child. The entrepreneur who spends 30 minutes refining their strategy before diving into email. It's not the quantity of hours, it's the quality of focus. So ask yourself honestly, where are your 24 hours going? Are you investing them in your rocks? Or are you pouring your life away on sand? Because the clock doesn't lie, the way you spend today's hours is a preview of tomorrow's results. Living with intention. Living with intention doesn't mean filling every second of your day with work. It means choosing your minutes with purpose. It's not about doing more, it's about doing what actually matters. And believe me, the difference is life-changing. I once met a man who said, I feel like my life just happens to me. He woke up, grabbed his phone, checked emails, scrolled through headlines, and already he was reacting before he even brushed his teeth. His days were driven by other people's demands, other people's opinions, and whatever notification flashed across his screen. Does that sound familiar? Too many of us are living on autopilot, drifting through our days without a map. Now let me give you the contrast. A client of mine, busy, single mother, juggling, 2 jobs, decided she was done with autopilot. She couldn't magically create more time, but she chose to live intentionally. Every night, she wrote down her top 3 priorities for the next day, her rocks. Each morning, she paused for 5 minutes before diving in, just to center herself. And guess what? Within months, she didn't just feel less stressed, she actually got more done. Her energy shifted. Her relationships improved, and she began building the business she'd been dreaming of for years. That's the power of intentional living. Here's how you can start. Begin your day with clarity. Before emails, before texts, ask yourself, what truly matters today? Protect your energy. If something drains you and doesn't move you closer to your vision, give yourself permission to say no. Focus on activities that add value: reading, learning, connecting with people who lift you higher. And don't forget, living with intention also means protecting time for rest, reflection, and joy. Because a purposeful life isn't only about goals, it's about balance. Without it, you burn out. Let me tell you, intentional living is rare. Most people drift, reacting to whatever shows up. But those who live with intention, they choose their direction. They create momentum. They stop waiting for the perfect moment and instead design their day on purpose. So here's the challenge tomorrow. Don't just ask, what do I have to do? Ask instead, what do I want this day to mean? That small shift from reaction to intention changes everything. The 30-day challenge. Here's the truth. Motivation feels great, but it fades. What really transforms a life is consistency. That's why I want to offer you something practical, something you can put into action starting tomorrow. A 30-day challenge. Think of it as a personal experiment, not a punishment, not a test of willpower. An experiment to see what's possible when you take control of your minutes. Here's how it works. For the next 30 days, you'll practice 4 simple steps every single day. They don't take hours. They're not complicated. But if you commit, I promise you'll feel the difference. Step 1, plan tomorrow before it begins. Tonight, before you go to bed, write down your top 3 priorities for tomorrow. Not a giant to-do list. Just 3 meaningful tasks, the rocks that really matter. Step 2, protect your time. This means noticing when distractions creep in. Social media, gossip, endless scrolling. Decide now how much of your life you're willing to trade for those things. Set boundaries. If you don't guard your time, someone else will gladly take it. Step 3, do the meaningful things first. Don't wait until you're drained to work on what matters. Attack your priorities early in the day. When your energy is strongest, that one shift alone can double your productivity. Step 4, reflect each night. Before bed, did I use my time wisely today? Did I move closer to who I want to be? Reflection isn't about guilt, it's about awareness. And awareness is what fuels growth. Now, here's the beauty of this challenge. It compounds. The first week, you'll feel a little resistance. By the second week, you'll notice momentum. By the third week, you'll realize your mindset is shifting. You'll start craving meaningful action instead of distractions. By the end of 30 days, you'll see tangible results, more clarity, more confidence, and a sense of control you may not have felt in years. I've seen this play out in real people. One man used the challenge to finally finish a course he'd been delaying. A woman used it to strengthen her marriage by protecting time for nightly conversations. Another carved out 30 minutes each day to exercise, and in just a month, she felt years younger. The question is, what could your 30 days create? You don't need to know the final outcome. Just take the first step, because 30 days from now, you'll either have results or excuses, and only one of those will change your life. The compounding power of small actions. Here's something I want you to remember. Success doesn't arrive in one giant leap. It sneaks in quietly, built out of countless small choices, stacked on top of each other. The compound effect of daily action is one of the most underrated forces in life. Think of it like money. You've heard of compound interest, right? A few dollars invested consistently grows into thousands over time. The same principle applies to your habits. 10 minutes of practice each day turns into mastery. One kind word a day builds trust and connection. A single page read each night transforms into entire libraries of wisdom. I once coached a man who wanted to get in shape but hated the gym. He kept waiting for motivation, but it never lasted. So we broke it down to the smallest step possible. 5 push-ups a day, that's it. No fancy program, no strict schedule, just 5. And here's what happened. 5 turned into 10, 10 into 20. And within 6 months, he was running 3 miles every morning. The lesson, small actions repeated create unstoppable momentum. On the flip side, the little negative habits also compound. Skipping exercise just today seems harmless until it becomes a week, then a month. Choosing soda instead of water feels small until years later you're staring down health problems. Wasting 10 minutes scrolling doesn't feel like much, but 10 minutes a day is 60 hours a year. That's an entire work week and a half. Imagine what you could build with that time. And here's the beauty. Small actions are doable. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. You just need to start. Learn 1 new word a day. Save $5 a week. Spend 5 minutes meditating. Write 3 sentences in your journal. None of these things feel monumental, but they layer together into transformation. Think about the stories of people who've mastered a skill or built a business. Rarely did they wake up one morning with a dramatic breakthrough. It was the quiet grind, the late nights, the early mornings, the small disciplined steps that nobody saw, but everybody admires later. So let me challenge you. What's one small action you can repeat today, tomorrow, and the next day? Don't underestimate it. Don't brush it off, because those tiny steps become habits, and habits shape identity. And once your identity changes, your results become inevitable. Avoiding time traps. Time traps are sneaky. They don't come labeled as danger. They arrive disguised as comfort, distraction, or even productivity. And before you realize it, hours vanish into thin air. One of the most common traps is the black hole of social media. You pick up your phone just to check one notification, and suddenly 30 minutes are gone. It feels harmless. But what's the trade-off? 30 minutes that could have been invested in your health, your growth, or a real conversation with someone you love. Multiply that by weeks, months, years, and the cost is staggering. Another trap is what I call productive procrastination. You know the feeling. You've got an important task looming, but instead you clean your desk, reorganize your inbox, or double-check your calendar. It feels like you're being productive, but deep down, you know you're avoiding the real work. It's like rearranging the deck chairs on a sinking ship. And let's not forget the trap of waiting for the perfect time. How many people say, I'll start when things calm down, when I have more energy, when life isn't so busy? But life never calms down on its own. Waiting for perfect timing is just another form of delay. The perfect time doesn't exist. The best time is the moment you decide to act. I once worked with a young entrepreneur who wasted months tweaking her logo and website colors, obsessing over details while putting off actual sales conversations. She told herself she was working on the business, but really, she was stuck in a trap. When she finally confronted the truth and started having real conversations, things changed quickly. But those months were gone forever. So how do you escape these traps? Start by calling them out. Name the behaviors that steal your time. Then, put systems in place. Time blocking. Dedicate chunks of time to focused work with no distractions allowed. The 2-minute rule. If something takes less than 2 minutes, do it immediately. Don't let it pile up. Digital boundaries. Remove notifications. Limit screen time. And protect your mental space. The key is awareness. Once you recognize a trap for what it is, it loses power over you. Remember, every distraction steals from your future self. Protect your minutes like they're gold, because they are. So, to be honest with yourself, what's the biggest time trap in your life right now? Naming it is the first step toward breaking free. Building a lifestyle of growth. Growth isn't something you cram into a weekend seminar or a once-a-year resolution. True growth is woven into the fabric of daily life. It's a lifestyle, not a side project. And the beautiful thing, you don't need extra hours. You just need to repurpose the ones you already have. I remember working with a client who used to tell me, "I'll focus on personal growth when things settle down." But the truth is, life never settles. There's always another deadline, another family commitment, another unexpected problem. So instead of waiting, we built growth into her everyday routine. 10 minutes of journaling in the morning, 15 minutes of reading during her lunch break, a short walk in the evening to reflect on the day. Simple, doable steps. Within months, her mindset shifted. She felt more focused, more confident, more alive. The key is balance. Growth isn't only about career or skills. It's also about health, relationships, and inner peace. Neglect one area, and the others eventually suffer. What good is professional success if your body is breaking down? What good is wealth if your relationships feel empty? That's why the most fulfilled people invest their time in all four pillars: learning, health, connection, and rest. Think about it, like tending a garden. You don't dump a year's worth of water on the soil in one day and hope it lasts. You water it a little each day. Some days it's sunshine. Some days it's rain. But the consistency is what makes the plants flourish. Your life works the same way. Here's a practical way to start. Learning, commit to one page, one podcast, or one insight every day. Health, move your body daily, even if it's a 10-minute stretch. Connection, carve out time for a meaningful conversation with someone who matters. Rest, give yourself permission to unplug and recharge. These small acts accumulate into something powerful, a lifestyle of growth. And once you commit to it, you stop chasing change and start embodying it. You no longer have to ask, "When will I grow?" Because the answer is every single day. So let me ask you, what's one area of your life that feels undernourished right now? Is it your mind, your body, your relationships, or your rest? Wherever you start, even the smallest daily investment will shift the trajectory of your future. The power of purpose and gratitude. Purpose is the compass that points your life in the right direction. Gratitude is the fuel that keeps you moving when the road gets tough. Put them together, and you have a foundation strong enough to carry you through any storm. I once sat with a man who had all the things most people chase: money, recognition, even comfort. Yet, he confessed, he felt strangely hollow. Why? Because he had no why. He was climbing a ladder, only to realize it was leaning against the wrong wall. On the other hand, I've met people with far less material wealth who radiated joy and peace. Their secret wasn't luck, it was purpose. They knew what mattered, and they aligned their time with it. Purpose doesn't have to be a grand mission written on a billboard. It might be raising your kids with love, creating art that inspires, serving your community, or building a career that makes a difference. When your minutes connect to something meaningful, even ordinary days feel extraordinary. And then there's gratitude, the amplifier. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing to what's present. It transforms obstacles into lessons, setbacks into stepping stones. Think about it. Even on your worst day, there's always something to notice. The strength to endure, the people who support you, the chance to begin again tomorrow. Gratitude softens us. It makes us more patient, more generous, more human. I encourage you to try something simple at the end of each day. Write down 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be dramatic. Maybe it's a good meal, a kind word from a friend, or even the breath in your lungs. Over time, you'll notice your outlook shifting from scarcity to abundance. And that shift affects everything: your relationships, your health, your energy. Now, I want to hear from you. What gives your life purpose right now? What's one thing you're truly grateful for today? Share it, say it out loud, or write it down. Don't skip this step, because the act of naming it makes it real. Remember this: purpose directs your minutes. Gratitude multiplies them. One shows you where to go. The other makes the journey worthwhile. So, here we are. We've traveled through the value of a single minute, the hidden cost of wasting time, the discipline that builds bridges, the traps that steal your days, and the purpose and gratitude that give life its weight and meaning. And if there's one truth I hope stays with you, it's this: your minutes are not just ticking away on a clock, they are shaping your destiny, one choice at a time. Every day you're handed one. 440 opportunities. Some people let them slip through their fingers. Others invest them with intention. The question is, what will you do with yours? Don't wait for the perfect moment. It will never arrive. Don't wait for life to slow down. It won't. The power is in the next 60 seconds. And the 60 after that, small actions, repeated daily, create massive change. That's not theory, that's reality. Proven by every person who has dared to live with discipline and purpose. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which part of today's message spoke to you the most? Was it the reminder that even a single minute can change everything? Was it the challenge to live with intention? Or maybe it was the idea of gratitude shifting your focus from what's missing to what's already here? Share your thoughts, your feelings, your perspective in the comments. I want this to be a conversation, not just a lecture. And if you found this video helpful, if it sparked something in you, then please give it a like. It tells me this message made a difference. Subscribe if you want more content like this, because we're building a community of people who are serious about growth, purpose, and living intentionally. Remember, time is more precious than money. You can always make another dollar, but you'll never get back another minute. Guard it, invest it, live it fully, because one day you'll look back and the story of your life will be written not in years, but in the minutes you chose to honor. Your journey begins now, in this very moment. The next minute is yours. Make it count.